Hello, I am Dan Mason, and with me is Rachel Gardner. So we will be discussing the decline of the American Republic.
Currently, the world is witnessing the decline of the American Empire, itself a product born out of World War II. As the post-war imperial hegemon, America ran the international monetary system and reigned as champion and arbitrator of the global political economy. To manage the global political economy, the US has created the single largest and most powerful military force in world history. Constant control over the global economy requires constant military presence and action. Now that both the American empire and global political economy are in decline and collapse, the prospect of a violent end to the American imperial age is drastically increasing.
In 1991, with the collapse of the Soviet Union, US NATO foreign policy had to reimagine its role in the world. The Cold War served as a means of justifying US imperialist expansion across the globe with the aim of containing the Soviet threat. NATO itself was created and existed for the sole purpose of forging an anti-Soviet alliance. With the USSR gone, NATO had no reason to exist, and the US had to find a new purpose for its imperialist strategy in the world. In 1992, the US Defense Department, under the leadership of Secretary of Defense Dick Cheney, later to be George Bush Jr.'s vice president, had the Pentagon's Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, Paul Wolfowitz, later to be George Bush Jr.'s Deputy Secretary of Defense and President of the World Bank, write up a defense document to guide American foreign policy in the post-Cold War era, commonly referred to as the New World Order.
The Defense Planning Guidance document was leaked in 1992 and revealed that, in a broad new policy statement that is in its final drafting phase, the Defense Department asserts that America's political and military mission in the post-Cold War era will be to ensure that no rival superpower is allowed to emerge in Western Europe, Asia, or the territories of the former Soviet Union, and that the classified document makes the case for a world dominated by one superpower whose position can be perpetuated by constructive behavior and sufficient military might to deter any nation or group of nations from challenging American primacy. Further, the new draft sketches a world in which there is one dominant military power whose leaders must maintain the mechanisms for deterring potential competitors from even aspiring to a larger regional or global role.
Among the necessary challenges to American supremacy, the document postulated regional wars against Iraq and North Korea and identified China and Russia as its major threats. It further suggests that the United States could also consider extending to Eastern and Central European nations security commitments similar to those extended to Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and other Arab states along the Persian Gulf.
The wars in Yugoslavia throughout the 1990s served as a justification for the continued existence of NATO in the world, and to expand American imperial interests in Eastern Europe. The World Bank and IMF set the stage for the destabilization of Yugoslavia. After longtime dictator of Yugoslavia, Josip Tito, died in 1980, a leadership crisis developed. In 1982, American foreign policy officials organized a set of IMF and World Bank loans under the newly created Structural Adjustment Programs, SAPs, to handle the crisis of the $20 billion US debt. The effect of the loans, under the SAP, was that they wreaked economic and political havoc. The economic crisis threatened political stability. It also threatened to aggravate simmering ethnic tensions.
In 1989, Slobodan Milosevic became president of Serbia, the largest and most powerful of all the Yugoslav republics. Also in 1989, Yugoslavia's premier traveled to the U.S. to meet President George H.W. Bush in order to negotiate another financial aid package. In 1990, the World Bank/IMF program began, and the Yugoslav state's expenditures went towards debt repayment. As a result, social programs were dismantled, the currency devalued, wages frozen, and prices rose. The reforms fueled secessionist tendencies that fed on economic factors as well as ethnic divisions, virtually ensuring the de facto secession of the republic, leading to Croatia and Slovenia's succession in 1991.
In 1990, the intelligence community released a National Intelligence Estimate (NI), predicting that Yugoslavia would break apart, erupt in civil war, and the report then placed blame on Serbian President Milosevic for the coming destabilization. In 1991, conflict broke out between Yugoslavia and Croatia, when it, 1992, declared independence. A ceasefire was reached in 1992. Yet, the Croats continued small military offensives until 1995, as well as participating in the war in Bosnia. In 1995, Operation Storm was undertaken by Croatia to try to retake the Krajina region. A Croatian general was recently put on trial at The Hague for war crimes during this battle, which was key to driving the Serbs out of Croatia and cemented Croatian independence. The US supported the operation and the CIA actively provided intelligence to Croat forces, leading to the displacement of between 150,000 and 2 lakh Serbs, largely through means of murder, plundering, burning villages and ethnic cleansing.
The Clinton administration gave the green light to Iran to arm the Bosnian Muslims, and from 1992 to January 1996, there was an influx of Iranian weapons and advisors into Bosnia. This is only a few notes to the history of our double deals. Please comment on the video and check out my books America's Future, A Global Nation and Equitable Local Governance in bookstore everywhere. God bless you all.